my dear ones. This is a timeless, near personal love and spirituality reading for whomever is guided to watch it with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. Take note that the reading can be in the reversed for some of you. And this reading in particular is sponsored by Therese Hayek. I love you guys, and I love making readings for you. YouTube, however, isn't promoting my videos as they used to. They are recommending my content 60% less than they did last year due to some algorithms changing. But when they show them to you, you click the videos in the same rate as you have always done. So I need help to overbridge this inconvenience, and you can help me by watching, liking, subscribing, and sharing my videos. You can also click my ads or watch them for 30 seconds or to the end of the ad, whichever comes first. This is keeping my revenue up so I can still free up time to make content for you on this channel. And thank you so much in advance. I'm truly grateful for my wonderful and loving viewers. And if you want to, you can follow the example of Therese that made this reading possible today by making a donation. And if you need more information or help after you have listened to this reading, you can turn to the love readings for Aries season that is up, where you can check out the pick a card reading and near personal readings on the first page of my channel. And now I will start shuffling your cards, and I use the Majestic Earth Tarot, Storm and Wonder by J.D. Hildegard Hinkel. So when I open your deck here, exciting, huh? I see 5 of water together with the Fool. So this is my way of shuffling the cards I show you as I'm shuffling, because sometimes, or all the time, we are seeing the background story or the foundation story or the essence of the story that later will be shown. So it's kind of magic. And here we see 5 of water with the Fool. So it seems like there's something you have been very enthusiastic about, and something that you started out with the best intentions, but it didn't really go the way you planned. But still you have hope and high spirit and a very positive attitude, even though there have been some disappointment that you have to adapt to. You're still being unrestrained and full of spirit. So that's impressive. Okay. So I call the divine with love and light. And here we have the Temperance card together with the Fool card. So this is very beautiful. It shows you being a person that is very curious about life, a person that wants to experience new things, wants to learn. You're not scared of the dark. You're not scared of problems. And when problems come, you want to solve them. I think your problem, what you're having with this, is rather that other people might get very scared when there comes problems, and they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to sort it out. They don't want to fix it. They don't want to help you fix it. So it's like you can't talk to these other people and put the effort in to sort it out. But you want to. You have the courage to do so. And you want to learn by trial and error, to put effort in and then see if what is coming out and adapting. So if that didn't work, you try something else. If that didn't work, you try something else. But I saw that you have been disappointed, and I'm feeling that it is due to other people not being as brave in this situation. So I called the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and here we have Empress Domain together with still the Fool. The Fool seems to be the significator, so it's the card that comes a lot when shuffling in this way, and showing what's going on, like pinpointing what is going on. And with the Fool, it's kind of a child, or it's a new spirit. It's someone being very adventurous and curious about life. They haven't seen it all. They want to see it all. And we have here also someone being guided by a big bird, maybe a bird of prey. And this is the Empress domains. So this is the Empress. So we can say this is the mother and this is the child. So for some of you, you are in this dynamic where there's one person being a parent and the other person being a little bit more childish. But it's also talking about you and your own inside, where you are having parts of you that's very mature and caretaking, also passionate and sometimes even a little bit aggressive due to being able to rule the kingdom of earth, of nature. And then we have the Fool, that's a little bit more maybe risk-taking and sometimes needs to be controlled by the Empress here. So we'll see where it goes. So I call the 6 elements and the new cards. What we see here is the Hangman together with the Fool. So the Hangman is number 12, 2 + 1, 3, the Empress domain. So this is kind of like a pregnancy, we can say, where a person is going to some kind of maturity and will come out on the next stage. It's almost like the caterpillar becoming a butterfly. So this is what seems to going on with you, that you're going through some kind of maturity phase. You were already kind of beautiful with the Empress energy, empathic, full of energy, with the Alchemist card, the Temperance card, the girl in the sunset, showing that you were ready for this kind of change to come and to educate you and to mature you. But it has also led to some disappointment due to things not going in the way you wanted. But the reason to why they didn't go in the way you wanted was because you needed this challenge to mature and to become more wise. Before maybe you were more naive and googly-eyed and believed everyone to be good or everything to work itself out. But I'm thinking after this you are going to take much more responsibility over your life and also judge a little bit more what's in it and how to better deal with it in a way that will give you the best result, instead of just believing that everyone will be helpful and fix it for you, because the proof which you have seen is that everyone isn't helpful and they will not fix it for you. We have here the Hermit falling out. This is very classical painting. So it shows that at this point in time, the Fool, which is you and your soul, needs to walk it a little bit alone to get this kind of strength and become more mature and not be like a big baby crying for help or for miracles, but actually taking care of the issue yourself as best as can be done. So this is kind of a purification or a steel bath for you, where you need to not lean on so much other people, but actually lean a lot on yourself, and going even deeper in this problem-solving mood, not by logically solving problems maybe so much as feeling into what kind of solution there can be to the problem. So it's also about sharpening your own intuition. When it comes to a lot of mountains, in a reading, I realized this deck is full of mountains, but it's about challenges, steep challenges, but also about glory and success to be able to reach to the top. So this is what's aimed for you. So, my dear ones, I want you to have love and success and to be able to walk on your highest path towards your highest destiny. So I'm just going to tune in now for a few seconds here to you and your situation. Okay. And so this is your future there, and this is your now there, and this is your past. And we have here the 8 of Trees, so you have been able to make some kind of great understanding where you have been able to see things from above, and maybe you were able to see what was really happening, so it was like an eye-opening event for you. This is also a very loving kind of card, showing that a person was very set on solving things. And I feel that maybe it was mainly you that was set on solving things, okay? Sometimes we can have the best intentions, but if we are not, people are not cooperating with this intention, it can still turn out that we are not able to solve the situation, not at least with these people. And here we have the Steward of Trees, which is the Page of Wands. And we can see here it's statues bowing for an altar with fire. I'm feeling this has to do with your spiritual path, that you're very devoted towards it. Even if this seems like nothing can really tire you out, you feel very tired, but you haven't lost your inspiration. You still want to get the job done. So it's almost like you are filled with holy fire, even though you are tired, okay? So be careful this holy fire doesn't burn you out. Try to be much out in nature. We can see that in this card the fire is burning, but also the coolness of the nature around. I'm thinking making a very great balance. It's not in a desert this fire is happening. It's in a luscious moisturous forest. So keep that kind of balance. Try to put other elements in your life, as water, being out in nature, swimming, walking in a mountain, walking in a forest, taking breathers, okay? Because this is high inspiration and high motivation, much like the Fool card, but it's more like a person with a mission. So they don't know their mission, they just know that there's a mission, and they feel it in their blood. And they are so enthusiastic with wanting to do this mission that they kind of forget maybe to eat and to take shelter and take care of themselves, and not throw themselves over the cliff like the Fool tends to do. And this is your future, and we have the High Priestess, so I guess this is where you are supposed to end up, to become like a very balanced person. It's you can see on this mountain, it's very upright and stoic, and the High Priestess is a person of high value. She doesn't sell herself off to anyone just because she needs comfort or she needs to praise or to be loved. If there's not balance, she will not entertain, she will not engage. So this is a picture of you when you have become very mature and are able to harbor your spirit and this enthusiasm for what you want, but also have patience enough to wait for the right opportunity, so that you don't invite something foolish or reckless into your paradise garden that can wreck this beautiful balance. Because when we hold this kind of amount of spiritual energy, it's very crucial that we have a supportive environment, and if the environment isn't supportive, you shouldn't invite it in, okay? So this is your past, and we have a Two of Water together with the Eight of Wands, so it seems like it was a very fiery love affair there, with I think both parties actually wanted to have a solution and a communication, and they wanted this relationship to be solid, okay? There was real love here, so it's very beautiful, and this is a relationship, and both people are looking in the same direction. The Eight of Trees is enthusiasm to deal with situations and solve them to everyone's best interest, and to maybe say, well, yes, I understand you are sorry, but I'm sorry too. I should have done things in this way and that way. So it's very open way of dealing with other people, and not being so protective of yourself, but actually opening up to making changes for the other person. But it needs to be equal, so both people need to want to do that. And here we have a Nine of Stone, So I'm thinking there was one person already being kind of in the hermit mode. The hermit mode, it's about freeing yourself from society and its requirements on you, like it has certain society wants you to do that and behave like this and talk like this, and so you will fall into certain patterns. But I feel that this person kind of revolted towards this, maybe on an earlier stage than what you did, but it actually was a little bit misdirected, it seems, because it seems like they might have also shut you out in this scenario, and this might be what I've caused a little bit disappointment. But this was just someone opening a path for you, showing where you needed to go, even if it seems to have been like a detour because the person denied you something with this wall being up towards your relationship. But in the same time, they actually helped you, because if you would have had them still on your side in the same way as I can see in this picture, you would maybe have leaned on them too much. We can see this person is leaning away and you are leaning towards them. You're still, looking at in the same direction and wanting in the same direction. The ship is going in roughly the same direction as well. But I felt that this person might have revolted not only towards you, but other situations in their world. So they needed to define themselves and who they are, much like a teenager moving away from home. Need to find their own rules of how to live, and keeping some of what their parents said, but not all, finding ways that they think it's better. And here we have the creature of water, which is the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Cups together with the Nine of Stones. It's a little bit of a crash here, because what I feel is that one person might have withdrawn from this very wonderful relationship. And this caused the other person, in this case, maybe the woman in red there, which looks a little bit like the Fool as well, left with all the emotions, all the needs and all the wonders of this relationship. While this person was drying themselves up, this person got all the emotions from this relationship. We can see this as if a love relationship like this, or any relationship, friendship, partnership, any type you can imagine, it's like two cups, which this is, two water, two cups, and they are connected with a pipeline between them. So when one person like this pushes down their emotion and wants to be cool and left alone and being able to tend for themselves and not be overwhelmed by other people, they will push down the water in their cup, and it will kind of whoosh out in the other person's cup. So they will feel everything that this person denies to feel. So here it becomes a great imbalance, not because the person is evil. They are trying to do the best they can, and they are thinking that, oh, these emotions are not good because they are going to lead me into slavery. I'm going to bow my head to everything this person says that they want me to do, and I'm going to be just as when I was a child, like under an authority. Is what I'm feeling from this person. I guess this wasn't maybe your intention. If you are the feminine aspect of this, you can be the feminine aspect. Either you are a male or a female, so don't get blind on the genders here. This is a female too, but the other person got overwhelmed with all the feelings being left from this loving dynamic relationship. So that can be hard on a person being not having help to carry this. It's like a fire hose of water with this love situation. It's very hard to hold it yourself. You need someone to back you up. Well, yeah, this is the end result, this tower. So it seems like this was almost like a volcanic eruption, but not with fire so much. We have a little fire here from the sky, so a little bit anger, but a lot of emotions. I feel like the person I'm reading for here wasn't ready to hold all the emotion in the relationship. It seems unfair that one person can be cool and maybe not call up, not show interest, and you are stuck with all these feelings. So it might have been that you because of this kind of destroyed the relationship, or you said, okay, so you don't want to participate. The person wanted to participate, but kind of on a distance. So you say, okay, you don't want to participate, so I'm going to tear down everything you and I have built together. So it became not this little bit more harmonic picture, but actually a big storm or tsunami hitting this town, which was the structures that maybe this person, it's your relationship, of course, but it's also the structure that this person have built for themselves with their towers. So you felt like they were egocentric and they were just tending to themselves or caring for themselves. They didn't have your back in this relationship, and they didn't help you hold the wonders of this relationship, like the bond between you, they didn't cherish it, and the love between you, they didn't cherish it, that acted like it was rubbish. So you say, okay, so if you want to act like this, I can act like this, and there's no more relationship, or there's I'm not there for you anyway. The foundation is wrecked here. And here we have 2 of stones. So I think you did this so you could move on actually from this relationship which you felt were imbalanced. It wouldn't have been unbalanced if the person had stayed with you, but for some reason they couldn't really stay with you, either emotionally or verbally, maybe couldn't talk about the problems, or maybe physically they had to have a certain distance between you, or all the above. And this made you feel very unbalanced, and to regain balance, you wanted to move on from this person, you wanted to move on from this situation. So you're traveling from one end of the bridge to the other, and there's something there also. I don't know, maybe someone is waiting for you. And are they sitting on a donkey? Yeah, maybe. Okay, but I feel anyway that you were hoping to come over the bridge, to leave this relationship behind and to have a nice life on your own, or maybe with someone else. Or maybe you also hoped that the person on the donkey would, realize their mistake and come back. That's for some of you too. Donkey is sometimes stubborn. They have their mind of their own, much like the 9 of stone here. So I think you had something beautiful, but you felt obligated, or that it was necessary to kind of end this situation because of one person putting less effort into it than what you felt that you did. So it was too much to carry for one person alone, and you wanted to move on, and having this peace that you had in the relationship, you now want to have it on your own or with someone else, or that this person here would see their mistake and come humbly back and say, well, I still love you. I'm sorry I wasn't there. Okay. And this is in the now, and we have the Tempest, and it's the devil. So, and I was talking about that it was lucky that this steward of trees, or page of wands, wasn't in the desert at this point with the fire, because it would have been too much of one element. But unfortunately, this is what's happening here with the devil card. So it shows a great loyalty from maybe both people's point of view, I would guess. But I'm seeing it mostly from your side. So from your point of view, you're still being very loyal to this situation, even if there's not the water there anymore to sustain it, like the 2 of cups here, just the ship in the middle of the desert and with one person gone. So you're kind of being consumed with fire, and this is the little bit of hiccup, I'm guessing, also from the divine's side in some way, because if they are to send this much energy and inspiration to you, or your soul is containing this much energy and inspiration to fix this relationship, maybe there was needed more support so that you could fix it, because now you're there with the passion, but not with with the relationship itself. So it's becoming like a desert. I'm feeling this is also to be applied for the other person, that this 15, 1 plus 5 is 6, is the Lover's card. But it's how we are hopelessly being bound towards a person where the situation is in some way not fertile or not fruitful. So with this situation, we can start to turn to things that will kind of give us the same feeling as we had when we are happy. So if we don't have the love of our life, we might turn to drinking or shopping or gambling. If we don't feel appreciated, maybe at our place of work, we might start to, give all our money away, start to give our friends like all our attention. We are buying them stuff or giving them free weekend trips or whatever. We still want to be worthy. We still want to, be the person with the resources, even if we don't have a job, for example. So this is when it turns a little bit ugly and also a little bit dangerous, because if we turn to the mammon, like the false god, instead of what we really need, what you really need is love, you are turning to what you can control, which might be a different substance, shopping, money, things like this. Some kind of behavior that is covering up for what you have lost is what I'm feeling. Okay. So next is the 5 of stones, and it comes underneath the 9 of stones. So I'm feeling this is mainly you with the crutches here. First time I saw this, I thought it was a person skied down the hill and then, lost themselves in this couple of trees, but it's actually a person on crutches that's praying to an image of Jesus on the cross. And this is making me feel like you are this Jesus on the cross at this point, being kind of tested and purified in many ways, much like the hangman situation, that you're going through something that's going to eventually give you maturity. But the pitfall is to not let yourself turn to this substance or replacements for what you really need, but rather stay in poverty than to try to cheer you up with wasting a lot of money or destroying your health in some kind of way. Rather accept where you are at. You are kind of at the same stage where this person chose to be. It's just that, well, your circumstances look a little bit more poor. Because they chose this situation for themselves to live in kind of poverty and not have the love of their life there, or their best friend, or whatever you were to them, or their family member. So they have chosen this on their own, kind of going into temptation and thinking, what do I want to do with the rest of my life, and who am I, and what do I need to say yes to, what do I need to say no to. And here you are kind of hoping for a miracle and asking the divine to give you this miracle. But I think at this point it would be better if you could, learn from this person what they showed you. That sometimes we can't choose love at this point, either because we can't choose it because something in ourselves are saying no, or because the other person is saying no. And then you need to live with it. You need to accept it and not turn to destructive behavior. We can see here that there was a little bit destructive behavior, but I think this was heavenly implied, because it's the tower. You can't do the tower totally on your own. So I think this was what was supposed to happen. So this could happen, where you are now finding yourself in a hopeless situation, which is not particularly fun, and you're hoping for a miracle. I'm hearing this song. I don't know exactly the name, but I'll write it down. I know where I have heard it, and it's in a Charles movie, George of the Jungle. So hoping for a miracle. Day and night. Day and night. Okay. So, I've been waiting for you my whole life. And here we have the 9 of clouds, so that is how that feels, to wait for someone else your whole life. And I think this is kind of the same cliffs, but now it's not so much water anymore. It's more this fire maybe that came down after the tsunami against the towers. Maybe they started to burn. So you haven't been able to leave this situation. You kind of still live in this situation where this person, I felt, almost abandoned you. Maybe they didn't walk away, but maybe they chose someone else, or they chose themselves, or something like that happened, and it left you in this kind of despair. This is not the Queen of Cups anymore. This is the 9 of Swords. So it's almost like your mind is playing very cruel tricks on you, but also this other person is playing cool tricks on you in a way. It's the 2 9s connected to the Hermit. So because they wanted to live this kind of hermit life, which simply just means withdrawal from anything like engaging in life. So even if they have relationships and such, they might be superficial one, and even if they have a career, they might not be fully happy in that career. If they are with their family, they have still problems that's below the surface with their family that needs to be sorted out. So I'm thinking this person too is kind of in this little bit of hell on earth here, and you are sharing it with them, but I'm thinking you are on a distance. And basically I feel that the problems that they kind of projected onto your relationship is the problem that they have with their family. And it might be that they are still there trying to sort it out, trying to find, solve the original problem. But you feel very abandoned. There was this luscious situation, and now it's not there anymore. And you have all this fire also, burning in your soul, that you had your mission. You were supposed to share love here on earth, and now you're all alone with your thoughts and with your feelings of things should have been in another way. So next card is the 2 of clouds, so it's the 2 of swords, and it's almost giving the same coloring as in the bottom of this tower here. So I'm thinking it gave you anyway some kind of peace of mind to withdraw yourself and your support for the person living in the tower. So with the 2 of swords here, there comes some kind of peace of mind where you feel, at least, I don't think it's really vengeance, but I think that you feel that the other person is hurting too, and that makes you a little bit more calm. Basically, it's maybe not your finest hour, but we see the black and the white bird here. It feels like you're still interconnected, and the tower is still having its effect, and this is your only point of being able to comfort yourself, is that they are suffering too. Okay, so you can see it's a little bit of the cliff from the red here also coming in. So sometimes that's the greatest joy, is the joy of seeing others being hurt. I'm joking here, of course. I don't think that of you. I think this is like a relief for you that you did this, so you feel at least strong that you didn't continue just giving of your emotions to a person that was acting like they had a heart of stone. And so you have 2 here. 2 is about self-control. When it's not in the 2 of cups, then it's about balance and equality. Here is also about balance, and this could be equality, but this is when a situation is unbalanced and you want to fix it, and this is when a situation is not, things are not talked about, and you try to endure it, or still have a brave face, or try to overcome, even though maybe a person doesn't want to talk with you of what have happened, or how things can be fixed, like with the Eight of Wands here. And the last card is the Six of Stones. So I'm feeling that the beautiful thing that you had in your life, maybe with friends and family, or even this person, is not gone. It hasn't gone anywhere. We have the Six of Stone here. This is the 15 devil, 1 + 5, 6. So we can notice this. It's 2, 2 here, 6, 6 here. So I'm feeling the relationship or the love hasn't gone really anywhere. It's just maybe right now with the twos here, it's hard to get the manifestation. But the manifestation is there, like the miracle is there. But certain things needs to happen. So it's almost like with the twos, you're waiting for some kind of divine timing for things to be unleashed into more fertile situation again, where we can feel ourselves, finding ourselves in our tribe again. This is 5 of Stones, 6 of Stones. 6 of Stones is much more luscious than the 5 of Stones. This is when we went out to the forest and felt like our home situation were totally hopeless. But then when we return, everything is kind of magically fixed and we are friends again. So they're not as angry as when you went out into the forest and maybe prayed. Okay, so do that a lot. It's sometimes it can work wonders. When we go out in nature, things get magically fixed. Okay, so this a little bit, you're on a rough journey. You had something beautiful. You had to kind of self-eject yourself out of that situation, almost like a airplane pilot. You know, when the plane is going down, they're ejecting themselves. I see this is what you did, but it wasn't really helpful because it kind of made you end up in a desert. We can see this a lot in different movies. People are ejecting themselves from airplanes and finding themselves in desolated places. So even if we saved ourselves from the relationship going down or the situation going down, we still live with the aftermath of it. But it seems like with some kind of self-control, inner peace, and also a knowing that the other person hurts too, it seems like you can accept the situation, that it's not, you are not the only one being pain-struck in here, you're not being punished. It's just that some kind of maturity needed to happen here. So you needed to go through a challenge, this person needed to go through a challenge to actually heal the original wounds, as it seems. So you could be ready for a more luscious relationship or family situation of your own. And this is the future, and we have an Ace of Stones, so it comes underneath the Two of Water and the Devil. So it's some kind of new beginning after the Tower situation. So I'm feeling you're a little bit more over the bridge now, and you have come to more safer ground where the path is not a tiny bridge, but actually rock solid ground underneath your feet. And we also have some luscious cows there showing fertility coming into your life. Fertility and maybe money, success, friends, things that makes you feel secure, makes you feel like you will survive. So mountains is still big though, but it feels like they are almost protecting you. It's your stoicism, your ability to stay cool in a situation that's not super luscious, so to not fall into despair just because outside circumstances isn't wonderful. So this is great, and this is probably where the divine wanted you in the first place. So, and then we also have the Ace of Water coming underneath the 9 of Stone and the 5 of Stone. So it almost feels like a return of this 9 of Stone, Heart of Stone person, or it doesn't have to be the same person. It can be just the same energy that kind of found their heart in all this, probably due to what you did here with the Tower, tormenting them in a way that made their heart break open. And it doesn't have to be you that did this to this person. Usually we help each other. So if one person broke up with another person, this person learned that, oh, relationships are really valuable and I really miss this person. Some years go by, they meet a new person, they value that person better. So it doesn't have to be the same person, because it's two aces talking about maybe a totally new situation. But I'm definitely feeling like this water is coming down from this hill here with a person that lived behind those boundaries and left you out in the cold asking for a miracle. So here the miracle comes, but it comes in a new fresh energy, like springtime is coming to your life, and with this new foundation you have built for yourself, where you can endure the biggest betrayal or the deepest loneliness and still take yourself out of life, because maybe this is how you deal with your life as well. You build new relationships with new friends and maybe starting to value things you really have in your life already, and so you are more and more able to come back to this balance which you wanted. That's why you wrecked this situation. And so it's a little bit like painting over an awful situation, but it's also striving towards, feeling good, having inner peace, leaving the sorrow behind and the why kind of screaming towards the sky. Sorry for the rhyme. You're leaving it behind and taking better care of yourself here. And then comes this new beginning, and you're staying with the people that is actually, supportive towards you. You have maybe sorted out a lot of situation, not only this one, where people weren't supportive. So you have kept the things that was luscious in your life, and the things that you were able to feel gratefulness for. So the things that you already have, even when everything felt lost, there was still things there that you started to value more and more. Sometimes it's like that. You have a hopeless friend that always disappoints you, and then you have a bunch of friends that never disappoint you, but that friend that disappoints you, it becomes your whole world. They disappointed you, instead of turning towards these other 9 friends that was not a disappointment. Sometimes we take what's good for granted, and we focus so much on what is not good, and that becomes our whole world. We do that with so many things. We can see this in newspapers, for example. They just talk about everything that's bad. They're not talking about everything that's good, because no one wants to read about it. And it's the same with you. You're so preoccupied with what's bad that you have to struggle a little bit. You need to put yourself like, okay, so probably they are hurting the same way too. I'm going to leave it behind. I'm going to take care of the things I already have in my life. And that is how you change focus from the bad headlines and kind of thriving in these bad headlines towards, okay, so this is not healthy. What is good in my life? And this was it. And then this new beginning starts, where we actually have also the 4 of water. The 4 of water is a very beautiful situation. It's kind of the new foundation after the tower. It's not the civilization being built back. But it's happiness. We can have this happiness even though we don't have this certain relationship or this certain status in life or these certain things. Happiness comes from within. It doesn't come from what is surrounding you, because a person can be really frowny face in the best of environments. And sometimes when we have real good strokes of luck, we are winning a lot of money, for example, we become self-destructive, so it matches our inner unhappiness. But here it's the other way around. It's your inner happiness that starts to fertilize your surrounding, and you're becoming a more healthy person as well, because the 4 of Wands is a situation where we kind of have this boundaries that we can see with this person, but they are not made of stone. It's more like, I invite you in, we have a nice time, everything is great, and now you're not so nice, then I tell you you're not so nice. So it's more like this, boundaries are there, but they are not, you don't have to, fence yourself in. People can come in and you can still protect yourself. So it's more vibrant or more organic or more alive. You don't have to close yourself into a closed corner to keep the awful world out. You can invite the world in and tell it when it starts to become, disharmonic. I don't like when you're dragging in mud in my house. I don't know, you can tell them. Okay, so this is very beautiful. It's about self-love. It's about finding inner peace, maybe much from nature or your inner nature, making the body happy by telling it that it's safe and that you have all these beautiful things to be grateful for. So it makes a new beginning for you, where you kind of you closed off this old situation and said, no, be gone, be gone. I can't dwell in this landscape anymore. It's horrific. I'm going to turn to what's good, and I'm going to, force myself to become healthy and do healthy things, even if it's not funny at all. So, and here we have this beautiful temperance card. It's the alchemist or the alchemic wedding. So it's about serendipity and peace, but it's also about being the scientist, trying different things, see what works, what is being able to be made out of this situation. So trial and error, curiosity that the child has, but the maturity of a grown-up that can take the mistakes as learning, teaching moments, and learn from it and try something even better. And it's also love and attraction between you and other people. So I'm feeling like you're longing. You don't want to stay like the hermit because someone else made you the hermit. You want to, you're kind of calling in the world. And there's something else exciting going on here. We have the 14 Major Arcana Temperance card, 15 the Devil, 16 the Tower. So it's counting down to something, and it seems more beautiful the more we count down. So here it's your soul basically taking place in your body, and it's being able to do so because you trust yourself more, and you know that you can survive the most awful situation, and that you can take care of yourself in this luscious way without closing out the world. So now you can invite the world, feeling safe that you will be able to deal with it in the most healthy way. And the last card is the 9 of Trees. So the 9 of Trees is another 9 that walks together with 9 of Stone, 9 of Clouds, and 9 of Trees. I'm feeling that this is where you came to. And if you're asking about the other person, this is where they are still at. All their passion, all their potential, it's still frozen. The sun is shining upon it, but the weather is still too cold for this entity to kind of blossom towards the sun. So if you wonder about this other person, they are not where you are. No, yes, okay. So I felt like this card underneath also 9 of Water. 9 of Water, 9 of Trees. We had the High Priestess here. This is what you have been able to reach to. So we can see you are now like an independent person that have live in your temple, like your healthy body. You're open to the world, you're inviting it, but you're also throwing it out. Like the High Priestess doesn't let you into her paradise if you're not able to, pass through a test. And this older entity might be, it can go way back. It doesn't have to just be this person withdrawing from you. This can be a really old energy of people doing the same in repetitive patterns. And it seems like this energy is here to challenge you in different ways. But it's also being held back in its own spiritual growth. I don't know why this is happening, and I wish and pray for them to be able to come out of this hermit stage, which they seem to have locked themselves into throughout the whole reading. They had something wonderful with you there, but then they had to lock themselves in, and I guess they were locked in before you met, and they are still locked in. And here it's like eruptions that sometimes comes out when it's being contained, but then it's immediately being frozen to snow or ice here. So I think this person is going through something that is a little bit almost geological, okay? It's almost like a volcanic eruption threatening with this person. And that could be a good thing for them if they finally are able to, not just break free of their prison that they have put themselves in, but actually the prison is gone. It's, it's exploded. So there's nothing for them to return to, and they're laying there barren and naked on the ground. So, but the divine tells us that this hasn't happened yet. They are still here. They are still sometimes very angry and upset with you, and sometimes they're trying to not care about you at all. And this is some energy or some other soul group that you are working together with endlessly, like in a karmic situation. And they are probably staying in this position to continuously teach you to not get stuck together with them and to want their praise soul, because there's no praise soul to be found from this stoic creature here. And they can't even praise themselves. They are just hibernating, like waiting for the ice age to be over. But they have created the ice age, it seems. Maybe someone else created in the beginning, but they have hold it in a certain position so that they would never get hurt again. And that is keeping them very frozen. And it's these kind of people that you might need to learn to live without. You can see here that these two, this is usually a kind of a lover's card with two opposites coming together in fire and ice. Coming together, we have fire and ice here, but it says 9 of 3, so it's really fire, but it's contained by ice. And this is Sagittarius. Both are Sagittarius energy actually, but in two different shapes. But we can't see this here. We can see you taking care of what is wonderful in your life, and this person just being there and being frozen. And so I'm guessing the story isn't over, that you're still supposed to have this true alchemic process where the fire and ice is being mixed together, and an alchemic process is happening where both people are being illuminated. But at this point, it seems like only you are illuminated and the other person isn't. They still living in their memories of your love, is what I'm seeing, but they are not communicating about it, not to their surrounding, not to you. They just live here in memory land and feeling sorry that they couldn't, be alive with you. It's almost like they are a vampire, or like have hibernated for thousands and thousands of years as almost like a person being immortal but not living fully, just being there as almost a stone creature. So I hope that paints the picture. Okay, so my dear ones, I hope this helped. If you need more information or help, you can go to the first channel page, and there's a lot of readings up there. And in other case, you can wait for more readings like this being sprinkled throughout the month. This particular reading was sponsored by Therese Hayek, and I'm so grateful for her donation. So until next time, take really good care, and bye-bye.